You don't know what's out there.
That's why I would go.
Hi, and welcome back to Wild Dream, where we give you the freshest takes on the latest movies. My name is David.
My name is Daniel.
My name is Taylor.
And we're back. Do you hear that echo? Back.
We're back.
We're back. We're so back.
We're in a new space, new area.
We're
She
back.
can do this,
Same
too.
sound drops. Same sound drops built into the same recorder that we're still using. We are back. We are in a new space that has yet to be properly constructed for podcasting. Hence the intense echo.
We did make a valiant attempt, though.
We made a very valiant.
We tried. That's what counts.
That's what counts.
We put effort towards it.
We're going to continue trying, and we're going to continue to improve. But we needed to be back, guys.
The only way that we can afford to really customize this place and make sure that it's studio ready is for you guys to send us so much money. Please, we make no money off of this podcast. Don't forget.
Send us money.
We're gonna add a Wild Dream Venmo to the link tree if
That's
you
right.
want to donate to the podcast.
So we can buy followers.
So that, you know what, we're also going to put an Amazon wish list, and it's just going to be filled with
There we
sound
go.
diffusion panels, microphones, and like a foot massager or something. Well, we got to be relaxed.
The new Resident Evil game coming out later this week.
Yeah,
Evil game coming out later. You know, we got a Steam.
For the podcast,
For
dude.
the podcast.
We have a Steam wish list. We have an Amazon wish list.
It was on wish list.
But yeah, we are in a new space. This is the
new
reason why
era.
I was not able to podcast for so long. I wasn't able to stream for so long. Now we're back to streaming. So if you've been watching the stream on Wild Dream Stream, you've seen a bit of the new place. But yeah, we are back, and man, we needed to be back. Let me tell you guys about how many times me and Daniel have sat down and had hours long conversations about movies we haven't seen in 10 years because we wanted to talk about movies together so bad. We have a 45 movie list of catch up movies from last year, and then we've even started a new list of rewatch movies we want to rewatch. And then we've been rewatching those and then watching those and then discussing those. And I'm just like, we need the outlet so bad once again to talk about movies.
Yeah, they spent like 35 minutes yapping earlier about Blue Valentine and
The Notebook.
The Notebook. So, y'all,
Ryan Gosling
y'all need
double
this.
feature if you're interested.
Yeah, you want to hear the fast version of the film catch up list from 2025? Mm-hmm. Here we go. Let us know if you want us to do an episode on any of these. We'll always take content ideas. Here you go. Hamnet, Twinless, Die My Love, Sentimental Value, If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, Sorry Baby, No Other Choice, Is This Thing On, Black Bag, Train Dreams, Left-Handed Girl, It Was Just an Accident, Cloud, Frankenstein, Blue Moon, Warfare, The Roses, Ballad of Wallace Island.
A bar. That's a straight bop.
We'll probably watch all those tomorrow night, and then we'll do We'll do an episode on those.
We'll do a whole episode on the catch up list.
A whole episode only on the ketchup.
10-hour,
A 10-hour. Yeah. It'll actually be longer than watching all of those
10-hour quickie review.
Quickie. It's going to be a VOD.
Quickie. Every movie we missed last year. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a movie filled break and a movie discussion filled break, and now we're ready to come back to talk to you guys about this movie. Now, this is also a Valentine's Day special. I know Valentine's Day has passed already, but this is the Valentine's Day special because we watched a romance movie for Valentine's Day. Woo!
Ooh.
We had a great Valentine's Day. Daniel, I know you watched Blue Valentine for Valentine's Day.
I watched Blue Valentine.
Which you have an interesting perspective on why to watch such a depressing movie for Valentine's Day.
Yes, a lot of
as a single person.
Yeah, a lot of people might think like, oh my God, why would you watch something like that on Valentine's Day? Well, here's the secret, because it will make you as a single person feel very validated and happy to be single because, wow, you see the awful side of a failed relationship that is toxic and not good and that they shouldn't be in and experiencing the decay of love. Well, guess what? If you remove yourself from that, you don't have to go through that. So it's actually kind of nice. It's like, all right, and not to say, I cry every time I watch that movie. It's fantastic, but yeah, I think it's actually a great Valentine's Day movie for a single person. I recommend it.
Yeah, Blue Valentine, Marriage Story. These types of movies would be great for a
The
single
movie we
person.
watched today.
Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine,
Eternal
kind
Sunshine,
of.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just my opinion.
That's my opinion. But yeah, we this week we all three went to go see Wuthering Heights. Wuthering. I always want to say,
Wuthering.
I've been wanting to say withering because that's an actual word. Wuthering Heights.
No, it's wuthering
It's
bullshit,
wuthering.
yeah.
Wuthering.
It's
Wuthering.
not weathering
wuthering.
either. It's wuthering.
Wuthering.
Now
There
we
you go,
have
Daniel.
3 different perspectives on the podcast for you guys today.
Wildering?
3 different. Oh, they
Yes.
are 3 very different.
We have 3
perspectives.
different perspectives
Yes.
going into this movie, okay? And here are the 3 perspectives.
Here we go.
So Taylor read the Wuthering Heights book when she was a teenager, but has since read hundreds and hundreds of romance books and watched romance movies.
Hundreds. Make me sound like.
And this fucking fiend and pervert, by the way, and pervert.
We're just talking about the last year.
Yeah, just the last year.
Hundreds of I'm talking about since you were a teenager, which was a long time ago, by the way. She's read lots of dozens and dozens. Is that better? Dozens and dozens of romance books, romance series, smut novels, and smut series, and dark romances, and all these things. So while she doesn't remember that much from the book, she does have a lot of experience with these types of stories, with romance stories. Okay. The second perspective you have is from Daniel, who does not read those types of novels and has not read this book at all. It's just going into this movie straight from the perspective of someone who has seen this director's other popular movie in the last couple of years.
Yeah. I saw Saltburn.
Yeah. Then you have my perspective where I have not seen Saltburn. I do not read romance novels in general, but I did read Wuthering Heights like the 2 days before we went to go see the movie.
Fresh.
So very, very fresh. I have a very clear understanding of what this book is about, what, and everything like that.
Freshest
going into
takes
this
on the
movie.
latest novels. On the
Yeah,
wait,
latest.
Latest novels.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Latest novels.
the earliest. The freshest takes on the earliest novels. Welcome to Wild Dream.
New podcast idea.
New podcast idea, guys.
A book podcast.
Hey,
which
since we
David
only put this-
actually needs. David reads so much right now
Yeah.
because he does audiobooks. David needs a book podcast now.
I've thought about it, but considering we only put this podcast out once every 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a new studio.
Again,
you read
if-
like 3
hey,
books a week.
If our listeners want to send us an exorbitant amount of money, please, we will make it happen.
We will make
Please.
that happen. Yeah.
If you want to hear David talk about the books he's reading, get on the stream.
You don't even have to send us. You don't even have to send us money. Just send this podcast to other people, to everyone you know.
Yeah.
then also send us
To make
money.
it at least a national sensation, if not international sensation.
International.
Let's be huge.
But this
already
movie
huge,
would be an
Daniel.
international sensation, considering this movie is very international.
That's true. Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering Heights.
Yes.
So getting into so yeah, when we get to spoiler talk, we're going to talk a lot about the book. We're going to talk a lot about this movie, and we're going to talk a lot about in general, like how this compares to romance movies, because I think that that's a big part of the discourse, right? A big part of the discourse online has been about, oh, this should have been more of this or less of this, and whatever, in terms of people who had expectations of a romance movie going into this movie. So we're going to talk about that a lot. But going into spoiler-free talk for this movie, okay? One of the most important things to understand about this movie as it compares to the book is that this is not I've heard it's a reimagining of the book. And I've also been told, and I can tell you guys, that it is not a full adaptation. This is not a story that goes through the entirety of the book. Mm-hmm. So with that said, if you have expectations going into the movie of it being something like that, then that you can get rid of that expectation now. It is not the full book, and it is a bit of a reimagining. There are some pretty significant differences that were made.
So is Margot Robbie not in the book?
No.
And Jake
no
Elordi
Australians.
was also not in the book.
What?
No Australians were in the book at all.
What the fuck? They botched this. They just
But yeah, so I mean, I think that my biggest things about this movie is that there were some things that were done really well in the movie, right? I think that the setting was put together really well. With the costume designs and with the settings, like the way that they created the sets and everything was very well done. I think that even the filming of this, like, country landscape, it was done really well. I think that the acting for the most part was really good. The accents were done really well, and the language was written really well. And I love. Here's my biggest compliment to the movie. That also has a caveat of one of my biggest complaints about the movie. One of my biggest compliments is that this movie refrains from using title cards where they are unnecessary. So, like, we have these sections because we go from, like, these people being children and then we go to them being adults. And they just cut from them being children to adults. And we see two characters that look just like those children. And we go, okay, yeah. And then they call each other the same name. And they didn't have to put, like, if they had put, like, 1782 on the screen or whatever, I'd be like, get this the fuck off the screen. I'd be so mad. Because I would be like, no one fucking cares what year it is. No one cares.
If they put 2032 on the screen, that'd be pretty interesting. I'd be like, wait a minute.
What?
This is in the future.
But it seems so in the past. That's
what happened.
That's
what happened.
What happened? I'm trying to watch that movie.
Yeah, but that's not what they didn't do that. And but here's the thing: they do have one title card that was really, really stupid, and it was literally just a 1 year later. And I was so upset by it because they hadn't done any title cards up to that point, and they had big gaps of time. They had from children to adults, and then they had a 5 years later section, and then they had these montages that go over the course of another year and all this stuff, and then they never did the title card bullshit, and then just out of nowhere, just 1 year later, I was like, what the fuck?
I don't remember that title card.
I do. I remember they were sitting in a little room. I remember it.
Yep.
Christmas time. And I just watched Blue Valentine, so it's on the mind, right, for Valentine's Day. That movie jumps from the past to the future, or from the past to the present, throughout the entire movie, over and over and over and over again. It's the structure of the movie, and there's not one single title card in the whole movie. So, pretty easy to do. Pretty easy to do. And guess what? I understood it. I was like, got it.
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone is so insulting to audiences these days. Mm-hmm. But then sometimes I do read some online takes of movies. And I'm like, man, maybe this is why they do this shit. People are fucking stupid as fuck.
That is true. I have seen, but that's the thing is don't cater to the lowest denomination of viewers like that. Don't do that. Do not assume that your audience is stupid.
Rude.
If you were watching this movie and you went, who are those two people? They were just kids though. How many years had you been?
Yeah.
If you were sitting there and you want in the end of that movie, you go, wait, the kids were them. You're a fucking dumbass. You are a dumb, stupid, idiotic person. You have your IQ is in the single digits.
You were in a resource classroom.
The best thing about this movie to me, if you were going to see this movie because your significant other is making you go see it, you can at least take solace in this. The cinematography was really good. Mm-hmm. And I thought that a lot of the shots were beautiful. And they had some shots that were impressive because they were done so well. All the things that go into that, like not just, the composition, but also the lighting and the setting and the, staging of everything, was just so grand. And so it just felt like such a big movie, even though the story is extremely contained. The story only has two settings essentially, but it still felt like a big movie. Like it's like one of these like Bridgerton or, Downton Abbey level of production, but for a story with very few characters and very few, plot points. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're someone who's going to this movie because your significant other is making you also understand this, it is a long movie and it feels long.
No, it doesn't.
Taylor disagrees.
I didn't feel the length of it. I was surprised at the time when we left. I was like, oh. Also, I just want to preface this, and you can't get pregnant from preface. David actually dragged me to this movie. I did not want to see this movie. I had no interest in it. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I did not like the casting. I did not like their adaptation of it because from what I remembered of the book, it was not going to be close to it. But David dragged me to it, and I had a great time.
Yeah, I mean, I when I say your significant other, that's why I say it that way. I'm the one who made Taylor come watch this movie.
That's true.
And part of it was I was like, I really want you to be on the podcast because we haven't done it in a long time and we're coming back. And usually when we come back from a big break, we all do it together. And also I was like, I want your perspective from this because there's going to be aspects of this movie that when we talk about the public discourse, you will have a better understanding of where people are coming from. But we'll get to that in spoiler talk because it all incorporates into spoilers.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we have to give some credit to is the sound design of this movie because my God, every single exterior shot had 18-mile-an-hour winds. And every single exterior shot, the wind is blowing nonstop, like hard as fuck, and the sound is great.
Yeah.
So they nailed it.
Can we talk about the fucking music in this movie? It was so good. I didn't expect, because I knew it was going to be pop music, but I didn't expect it to meld so well with the movie. It was so good.
I think part of that is the lighting and color scheme and the glossiness of the movie.
Yeah.
I think that it matches a pop sound. And
that's true.
It is interesting. Yeah, I was curious what it would be like, especially because Charlie releases one of the songs from the score called House, and it's very classical, it's dark, it's kind of horror-esque. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? But the rest of the soundtrack doesn't match that. It is there are orchestral moments, but it is a lot of upbeat pop, auto-tuned, a lot of stuff. So it was surprising how well it matched. Yeah.
And I love that song too that she released for that. And I think that it does match a lot of the themes in the book and the movie because it is a very dark story to a certain degree. You know, it is there are elements of this movie and the book that are so dark and so like guttural, you know, and brutal that you want something like that, you know? And I think that that's very refreshing. And I think that you're right that like this movie feels like a pop movie, the way that the music feels like pop music. You know, I was like, and for a movie that's an adaptation of an old English novel, it's like, yeah, you don't expect this to be such a, you know, glossy type of film, but it really is. And I think that was a benefit of the movie. I think that that's something that they did well in terms of that's the choice that they made. And then because they made that choice, they incorporated a lot of elements into the movie to make that choice viable. Like it doesn't like go wishy-washy. Oh, sometimes it's dark and edgy and gritty and grainy, and then sometimes it's glossy. No, they went like full, like, you know what I'm saying, like almost like comic booky glossy like throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking up the location. They did do a lot of all of their filming was in North Yorkshire, England. And it was all because I was thinking that a lot of the shots were probably green screen, CGI, things like that. I do not have a film degree, so. But
which means you're not allowed to talk about film, so shut up.
Anyway,
wait. Okay, you leave right now. Leave the podcast.
Right. Dan, you have to come with me then.
Nah.
There were certain points when I was watching the movie that I was confused, especially the like second part of the movie after the new place that the character was in was really, really glossy, really modern. It was a very different landscape. And at first I was a little off put by it, but the longer I sat in it, I was like, this actually works really well. And so I think this was a true reimagining. I wouldn't call this an adaptation. This was a true reimagining of that novel. From what I remember of it, from what David has told me about it in the last week, this was a true reimagining, and I think they did it really well. To bring it into a modern space.
Yeah, I mean it's not a modern movie though. It's in a modern space, but it is not take place in modern time.
It's not like still 2026 we have iPhones. It is still, yes, Old English.
What's his name in this? Heathcliff? Heathcliff didn't like my photo and my story. Does he hate me?
He commented puking emojis on my photo.
Nelly, you blocked Heathcliff on my Instagram. How could you? The betrayal.
The
And after you released Country Grammar, I can't believe you do this.
But yeah, I mean, this is like I said, it's a really long movie. It feels really long. It felt really long to me and Daniel. It didn't feel long to Taylor. But I will say that it's like when you think about it from an adaptation standpoint, because of what this story is about, you expect it to be shorter than it is, but it's not. It is drug out. Is that's right? Drawn out?
Dragged out.
Dragged out? Drug out?
Drogue.
Drogue?
It's drog out.
We both crowed.
It's stroganoff.
He cried. I cried. We both crowed.
He cried. We cried. We both crowed.
Wait, he cried. Isn't that the guy in the movie?
He cried. Heathcliff.
Anyway.
Two different types of bars, by the way. Just want to say.
And
Heath Bar, Cliff Bar.
Okay.
There's two different types of bars. Pick a name, bro.
so,
Dave's obligatory here, dude.
I need you guys to shut up so we can get to spoiler talk, please. I need you guys to shut up. I need you guys to shut the fuck up. And do you guys have anything else to say about this movie before we move on to spoiler talk?
I'll do it since I haven't gotten to say anything yet.
What?
You've chimed in.
Well, I read the book. And, I did not like this movie. I didn't think it was very good. And I think that if you are familiar with the source material, there are gaps being filled in your brain that you don't get as a viewer, because I think this is one of the weakest. I didn't feel chemistry, and I didn't feel any sense of relationship development at any point. It was a lot of you're hot too. I'm in love with you. Okay. Like I had nothing, all caps, nothing to believe in this movie. I did not believe anything for a single second. It was as phony as can be. It was vapid. It was nothing. It was a movie made for teenagers. And I really did not like this movie. I thought it was bad.
Do you think they should have kept more on the relationship development side rather than jumping from kids to adults?
Yeah, I think that there's a huge gap that I'm missing, because to go for their relationship, if you want to call it that, the way that it's like framed and stuff early, I just felt I didn't feel anything but brother and sister. I didn't get anything romantic at all. It was brother and sister, and then all of a sudden they're just in love. I don't get it. I do not. I'm trying not to go into spoiler quite yet. I'm just saying I cannot believe anyone could watch this movie blind without reading the books,
right,
and get anything earned in terms of believing in this relationship. And I don't think that Margot and Jacob had any chemistry. It felt very, very phony. It was two movie stars making out. Like I just, you know what I'm saying? Like I could not believe anything. So by the time we get to the end of the movie, I'm like, okay, it's over. Like I could not connect to anything. Whereas people who have a previous experience with these characters and have context that I don't have, they're going to get more out of this. So it is one of those, and this was one of my biggest complaints about this director's movie that I have seen, Saltburn. I think that she is a style over substance director. To the nth degree. Style over substance. Style over substance. Everything she makes is style over substance. And I'm to the point where I just don't care what she makes anymore. I'm out on Emerald Fennell.
I do see your opinion. I do. I hear that. I see that.
If there was like other parts, that's a big thing. It's like that like Dave said earlier, that's the story.
Yeah.
The story, the script, of this movie is about one fucking thing. It is about one thing.
Yeah.
It is these two characters in their relationship. So if I don't buy any of that, your whole movie is fucking void.
Yeah, I think that all of that is extremely valid. I think that is, and it was one of my complaints about the movie as a viewer coming from the perspective of someone who read the book, was that I agree that they did not spend enough time developing these characters, and my complaint goes into this is what they chose to focus on for this book, and that was in my opinion a bad decision. And again, we can get into that into spoiler talk because I'm going to spoil the book and the movie for you guys, here in a minute. But yeah, when I say the movie is extremely contained, and when I say this is not a full adaptation, like it is a very small section of it, and they even isolated it even more by removing some significant characters and some significant plot points. So it just becomes like very, very isolated into very hyper focusing on this section of this book and this part of this novel. And when you do that, but you don't expand or add anything else into it, it's like they did things in this movie where they changed certain things, where they like, well, this character is going to be changed to do this, and this character is going to be changed to behave this way and react this way and whatever. But usually when they go and they do an adaptation, they'll also like add some stuff. Okay, well, if it's a reimagining, I mean, that's the excuse. Well, it's a reimagining. Okay, well then add some stuff that wasn't in the book that you can now put into this movie because you're hyper-focusing on this story and you're hyper-focusing on this relationship. Well, add some scenes that didn't happen in the book into this movie to add context to their relationship. But you didn't do that. You just took exactly what was in the book, changed a couple of characters from this way to this way, but what they do and what ends up happening to these characters is the exact same. So that's where I'm like, yeah, this is like the excuse of it's a reimagining is to me an excuse. Oh, you're just excusing the fact that you made a bad adaptation. Mm-hmm. And I think that this movie does not do justice to the book.
Yeah.
Which movies rarely do.
They rarely do.
It's a hard thing to do.
As someone who reads a lot.
I mean,
rarely.
yeah, the moment this movie was announced, like I'm scrolling TikTok and people are like, I hate this movie for existing, because people just don't want certain stuff adapted. And a novel that goes back this far that this many people have read.
Well, they ran out of
But I'm just like, you have Game of Thrones, right? Like Game of Thrones is something
great
that
adaptation.
People were like, there's no way you can make an adaptation of this book because of how incredible this book is, whatever.
Yeah.
And they did it. And it became one of the most popular shows of all time. I mean, Twilight. And, like obviously people loved the people who like Twilight the books are the same people who are gonna like Twilight the movie. Let's just say that.
But they're not a 1-to-1 adaptation. There's a lot of shit missing from the books to the movies.
I'm just saying, if you like dumb shitty books, you're gonna like dumb shitty movies.
Wait, is Robert Pattinson not in the book?
No.
Oh,
neither is Kristen Stewart, which is crazy.
They botched that.
But Taylor Lautner is in the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it is very rare, but it is possible. And I think now more than ever, when we're seeing like Downton Abbey is super popular and Bridgerton is super popular,
Love Bridgerton.
and things like Game of Thrones, and they did a Witcher adaptation, and all this. I'm like, you guys have all the resources in the world to do an Old English adaptation to an impressive degree. There's no excuse for this novel, which I thought was a really good novel and a really good story, to not be done justice. Like, there's no excuse for that, to me.
Sure, yeah.
I hear you.
Maybe that's a future podcast idea is our best adaptations, because I remember reading...
That's a good idea.
I remember reading Gone Girl after watching the movie, and I was like, oh yeah, he nailed it.
Well, that's the thing. Fincher's the best. Fincher is the best Like, dude, The Social Network, everybody who was involved was like, hey, none of these characters are as cool or creative or interesting as this movie is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're like, nothing that happened in this movie was as cool or interesting. So this movie is way better than the real life story. And then you go like, even, Chuck Palahniuk said that Fight Club was better than his own book. Like, he literally admitted that. So David Fincher is the master of adaptation.
Yeah, another book that I've read that I agree, I like the movie better. And I think that part of that is actually, he's one of the rare directors in our lifetime that is not a writer director. He doesn't write any of his shit.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So he literally is like, hey, yeah, I'll direct your movie. So,
right.
And there's
power in that because you are allowing someone who loves writing and loves reading to be the one who adapts this novel into a screenplay.
Exactly. And someone who has to life. A lot more of an unbiased lens to go, let's keep this, let's get rid of this, let's do this, you're going to have a lot more strict of a vision than
I do think
we're not saying David Fincher never read these books or anything. Like, we're not saying that. Of course, we're just saying that like when
Emily
you have
Bronte is dead too.
That's also true. Yeah. The more that you have like trust and you have like collaboration with other people, the better a lot of your stuff will be. That's why writer directors that are really good are the rarest in the world, because they're the best of the best. And I think that this movie is like, it had a specific vision and they went for that vision and they accomplished that. But again, as a fan of the book now, obviously I just read it, but I am a fan now. I think that there were better parts of the book that should have been explored more, in my opinion. Yeah,
and I do want to say too, like I don't want to sit here and just shit on everything. It's not an awful movie. I just thought it was on the bad side, and at the end of the day, this is just not a story for me.
Yeah,
it's just
that's
not.
What I was thinking. What I mean? It's not made for you.
Yeah, like if someone went and watched a sports movie that doesn't care about sports, and they're like, that movie sucked. Well, yeah, of course. I would expect nothing less.
This is for people who love Wuthering Heights. This is for people, maybe not,
Who like
but
Old
who
English.
like dark romances and old
Yeah,
English things. These
yeah.
are not made for Daniels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not my kind of movie. So, you know, if
And we're going to tell you exactly what kind of movie it is going into spoiler talk.
Heyo.
I think I'm gonna die in this house.
You finna die in here.
He's finna die.
You finna
Yeah.
die in this house.
Yeah.
What? This is spoiler.
Now announcing spoiler alert. Moving it. Oh fuck! I'm late.
Who's this freaking bollocks? Spoiler alert. All right, let's get into the rundown.
For wit? No.
Weather Heights. Come on, fam.
With or without it? What we gonna do?
Wuthering Heights.
Wuthering.
This movie is
Open on.
about...
Imagine. New rundown format. Interior.
Interior.
This
They
movie
open on.
is about Catherine Earnshaw, okay, who grows up with this boy named Heathcliff, who was a peasant on the street that was abandoned by his parents that her father took in. And she grows up with him, and while they're growing up, she's kind of in love with him, but because he's a poor servant boy who doesn't have a last name even, he is forced to be a servant.
He does. Heathcliff.
Nope, that's just his first name. So yeah, he ends up being a servant, which I think is kind of fucked up. Hey, I'm going to, save you from the streets of poverty, and you're going to come into my wealthy home, and then you're going to serve me.
Yeah.
Kind of fucked up. But anyways,
Guys, I used to have a cushy gig.
he's like, I used to just be on the street. Now I work for a living.
Yeah, I got to do whatever the fuck I wanted, man.
But yeah, so they are growing up together, and they are in love with each other. Now, they are like not very well behaved kids, all in all. And she's kind of mean at times, and he's kind of mean at times. And then, the other people are like, you guys are kind of mean to each other sometimes. And then they grow up, and the house is going into ruins because Mr. Earnshaw, the father, is gambling all of their money away. So when a new family moves in, they say neighbors. They're 5 miles away, but neighbors because they're out in the country. The Lintons.
Wait, they out where?
They out in the. I just want to catch my fish,
Drink my beer.
So when the Lintons move in, this is Edgar Linton and his sister Isabella Linton. Now, this is one of the changes that they made, and we'll get into that because they don't look like siblings, but they are like referred to as. I guess they're kind of like siblings, but they're supposed to be siblings. So it doesn't make sense why she's living with him otherwise in any capacity. But regardless, Catherine is like, well, we need money, and they're very wealthy, and if I marry for money, again, this is Old English, so you got to think about it like that. If I marry them, then, we'll save the house. We'll be able to survive. So she goes and she spends time with them. And when she does, Heathcliff is like, well, I guess fuck me. I guess you just don't want anything to do with me anymore. And she's like, that that's not about that. I just have to, do this. So then when she decides that she's going to marry Edgar Linton, Heathcliff finds out and he's like, I'm leaving. So he leaves. They don't know where he goes, but she marries Edgar Linton. She moves into this luxurious, beautiful home that's like way too overdone. They have different rooms, the husband and wife, which is kind of crazy to me.
It was very common.
Hey, shout out to Gabby. Gabby pitched that to me like for years. She's like, yeah, if I was ever married, I would want my own room. And I was like, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
I kind of get that. I can't imagine me sharing a room with a
really
partner.
fucking get it.
And not having my own decorations and stuff up.
But then, years and years later, Heathcliff shows up out of nowhere and he's wealthy now.
What?
And she's like, where did you go? I loved you and you left me. And he's like, I didn't leave you. You left me. Which, again, they're both right. She's like, I wanted to be with you. I was going to, back out of my deal with Edgar, but I couldn't because you just abandoned me the second you knew I got engaged. And he's like, you thought I was just going to stick around and still pursue you after you just got engaged with somebody and you're telling me I left you? You're the one who literally got engaged with another person.
Yeah, I like your husband. I ain't no cuck.
Yeah, it's like, I got to get the fuck out of it. But yeah, and then he ends up fucking her. So they fuck each other every day for however long, for years, or for months. Sorry, she's pregnant the whole time. They fuck every day for months. And then eventually she's like, I can't see you anymore because, they find out, Edgar finds out about it and she's like, I can't see you anymore. We're breaking up. He's like, no, please don't break up with me. And she's like, I gotta. And then he's like, okay, fine. Then I'm not going to come see you anymore. And then she withers away.
Interesting.
Withers away.
Whoa.
Weathers.
So which one is
she? Stops eating. She stops drinking. She develops sepsis. And she ends up being so sickly that when the baby is pretending, what ends up happening, she ends up losing the baby. And so in that process, she ends up dying. And Heathcliff, comes to her right when she dies, and it's like, oh, I can't believe I let you die. You were the most important thing in the world to me. Very sad. And that's the end of the movie. So the entirety of this movie is these people grew up with each other, loved each other. They separated. They got back together, but couldn't be together. And because they couldn't be together, she dies. And he's sad about it. That is the entirety.
Loser.
That's the movie. That's the plot. So when I say it's a very contained plot, it's a very small, not a lot happens in this movie.
4 chapters.
It's a very small section of it. Mm-hmm. Now, let me explain to you this concept as it is explained in the book. Okay?
Book.
So let me give some more context to this. In the novel, Wuthering Heights, the story starts off with a totally different person. Okay? A completely different person whose name is Lockwood. And he has moved into the big giant house that the Lintons lived in for a long time, and he meets Nellie, who is the servant lady, who is the narrator of the rest of the book, right? And he's like, hey, what's going on with Wuthering Heights? Like, why are these people there? They're very weird. They're very strange, whatever. And so she tells him the entire story of what happened at Wuthering Heights. And she explains this part of this story as well, right? So one of the things that they changed is that Catherine has multiple siblings. She has multiple brothers, along with Heathcliff. They are just completely removed from the movie entirely. But they add a little bit more context to this, nobody likes Heathcliff. When they tell, everybody, if you're like, why aren't they just together? If you think that in the movie, you could watch the movie and go, why can't they just be together? Who cares? They already own this big house, whatever. Well, that's part of it. The brothers fucking hate Heathcliff. They treat him like shit. They beat him all the time. And they, literally, Catherine and Heathcliff spend all of their time just doing hood rat shit in the city. They just go off into the city and they make trouble and they get dirty and they stay out too long and they bother people and they get arrested and they get like all these things. They just do bad shit. They're just constantly misbehaving with each other the whole time. And all the other brothers are like, you spending time with this man is making you a bad person and you need to stop because he's a piece of shit. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. So she doesn't. And then they're like, okay, cool, but we hate this guy. So just so you know, he's a bad influence. We don't like him, whatever. And then when she goes and she marries Edgar Linton, everyone's like, yeah, Edgar's fine. He's kind of boring, but he's fine. But the thing is that you have to understand from the concept of the book that is so different than the movie is that in the book, it's way more sexist than they allowed the movie to be. The movie is like, Linton marries her because he fell in love with her. And all this stuff. But it's like, no, it's just transfer of property. That's all women are in the book. Women are just property. They belong to men and they are fucking accessories to men. That's all they are. And so they're treated as such. If a man just beats the hell out of his wife in front of an entire group of people, no one will stop him in the movie. And it's the same thing for children. If a parent just beats their children to high heavens in the fucking book, everyone will go, yep, well, they shouldn't have done whatever they did to make their parent beat them like that. So the book is way more violent than the movie is. It's one of the biggest things that I was upset about. They have one scene of Heathcliff getting abused by Mr. Earnshaw. And then they cut to, and there's him, and he's completely fine, except for he has 2 streaks of blood on the back of his shirt. And she's like, oh, there's blood on his shirt. And I'm like, in the book, he's swollen eyes and bruised and his jaw's broken and his whole arm is
looking like the kid from Talk to Me.
Yeah, literally. I was like, yeah, think of the kid from Talk to Me. That is what this kid should have been looking like. You know what I'm saying?
That would have added a lot more realism for me as a viewer.
Yeah, it just when you talk about this movie being glossy and more pop it's yeah, you guys. Here's some context for the book that I think is important for people to understand why this book is so well regarded to this day. First of all, this book was released under a pseudonym, so nobody knew that this book was written by a woman. And when it came out, everybody was like, well, whoever wrote this book is clearly a man and clearly not a part of high society, because they are such a disgusting, brutal, just like barbaric. Yeah, just such a barbaric man clearly wrote this book. Because one of the biggest flaws with the book, or the thing that people complained about with the book, was how violent it was. So when you see all this discourse online going, why isn't there nudity in this movie? Well, there's no nudity in the book. Like, when I say this movie should have been R-rated, I'm saying if you read this book, there is so much violence in this book and violence towards women and children that it is like unseen, like it's like obscene, and it's like heartbreaking and like really tragic how much women and children are beaten to a pulp by grown men. And people who read this book at the time were like, this is awful. This is awful. How could you write a book that's so violent? And then in this movie, there's almost zero violence, except for off screen and barely referred to. And it's way more about the sex, and the sex is such a small part of the book. Like, I don't understand how anybody who read this book could go into this movie going, oh, there should have been way more sex. There should have been way more nudity. There should have been way more. There's almost there. When I tell you that there is like so little sex in this book, I'm saying the way that they describe Heathcliff coming to Catherine when her husband is away, they say he comes over and they hang out for an hour. They don't say they fuck. They don't say they kiss. They don't say they lay together. They don't say
he placed his member in her.
None of that.
Orifice.
You got some vocabulary.
He put his thing in her slit.
Yes.
I'm also so sad because I have not been able to find that PowerPoint since then. It's gone.
Oh man, yeah.
I know.
Taylor made a PowerPoint on smut books, and I did retain some information.
Yeah.
Yep.
But none of that's in the book. Like, there's no graphic, pornographic,
That's what I imagined this book was this whole time, just from general discourse. I thought it was a smut book.
Yeah, and it's really not. Mm-hmm. So, in the book, when Catherine leaves and she's like, with Linton, and they are like, again, Heathcliff comes back and they're hanging out. The other thing that they didn't really do in this movie, because they didn't explore this aspect of the film, they didn't explore is that Heathcliff is one of the worst pieces of shit in the fucking world. He is one of the most god-awful human beings you could ever hear of. And Catherine is a fucking cunt. She is a fucking cunt. Like, when her husband is like, hey, I would really like you to stop fucking your childhood best friend in my home while I'm at work. She's like, kill yourself. Fucking kill yourself. You might as well fucking hang me if you don't want me to fuck him in your house. If you don't want me to fuck him in your house, you might as well fucking put a bullet in my head and fucking hang me, you piece of shit. Fuck you. And he's like, okay, put her in a room or something. I don't know. I don't know what to do with her. She's like, if you let me, people are like, oh, well, I can't believe she's just kept up in her room all the time. She's like, if you let me out of this room, I'm going to fuck everyone I can find. I'm going to fuck everyone but you. You are a disgusting pig of a man who I hate entirely. And if you let me anywhere near this man, I'm going to fuck his brains out, and I'm going to do it in front of you. I'm going to film it, and I'm going to send it to all your friends.
He is a ride I wouldn't survive.
Like, people are like, Edgar Linton is such a controlling husband. And she's like, if you don't let me fuck this man, I will literally starve myself to death. And he's like,
fucking crazy.
Well, I don't feel loved anymore.
This is a much more compelling character.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Is the whole, and I told you guys this walking out of the theater, I was like, I was rooting for the downfall of every single one of these characters. I didn't like us. There was no redeemable characters. They must have toned down Heathcliff a bunch, because when he comes back in the movie, I was like, dude, fucking aura. Like, I actually was not necessarily rooting for him, but I was like, oh, here's a character that gives me a positive feeling. That positive feeling of getting your lick back is so satisfying. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they clearly toned him down, because I should be like, man, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? Like, but
when he comes back to town, every single person in town is like, listen, we don't know how he made his money, but he didn't make it legitimately. He must have robbed somebody. He must have beaten some people. He must have been like successful gambling.
He made his money. Top hat, nude on the street.
Okay, ass. Taylor likes to imagine that Heathcliff became the first male stripper. Did someone order a lord?
Did someone order a lord?
Well, is that a blacksmith entering? Oh my!
Oh my!
They'd be ashamed.
Do you mind if I unsheath my sword? And the music's like harpsichord. It's
Harpsichord.
We got to make that into a sketch. That's so funny.
The 1700s male stripper.
Yeah.
Mo, we need you on this one.
Starts undressing, and the women are just like, God, it's putrid.
It reeks of heavens. Oh my gosh.
I can't even see his penis. This bush is so long.
For real.
So here's one of the things that
remove his loincloth.
Here's one of the things that happens in the book that doesn't happen in this movie that you could have incorporated in this movie. Because again, they decided to take this small section, which is just Heathcliff and Catherine's relationship.
Fuck.
That's the whole movie, right? So this is part of their relationship that I was waiting for this scene because it is so brutal, but it gives a good insight into why Heathcliff is such a piece of shit. When Catherine and them have to break up, she's literally going crazy, right? But what's really happening is she's grieving, and because she's grieving, she has emotions. And when women have emotions in the 1700s, they're like, she's losing her fucking mind. She's literally going insane.
Yeah.
So the thing is that as she's grieving the loss of this relationship, she starts to get over it. She starts to feel better. She starts to eat again. She starts to speak again. She starts being able to be trusted again by her husband.
This is the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nellie, who is the narrator of the book and her servant, her closest friend, the only person who's actually looking out for her. By the way, they make her seem like such a villain in the movie. In the book, she's like, hey, this fucking huge piece of shit that everyone hates, don't keep fucking him because your husband who has provided everything for you in life is going to be upset about it. And she's like, fuck you, Nellie. It's like, what? Like, if you just listen to her and stop hanging out with this man. Anyways, so she starts to get better.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that in the movie. There's a little bit of redemption for her.
But it's
of like,
a lot of self-preservation.
Yeah, it is very self-centered and like, don't ruin this for me. But there is a little bit of, hey, you guys clearly make each other insane and everything's worse when you guys are together. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my part in keeping y'all apart.
Yeah.
Secretly.
Like that's the thing is that literally in the movie, Nellie does not tell Edgar that, his wife is sleeping with Heathcliff until she's threatened to be fired. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it becomes this self-preservation thing.
Right,
whereas in the book, she's always looking out for her. And by the way, in the book, everybody knows that they're fucking except for Edgar. I'm like, everybody knows.
The fucking family dog.
Yeah. They're just like
Edgar.
And then Edgar's like, what the hell? It's like, so like Edgar's the only one who's pathetic in the book and in the movie. You're like, okay, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Village mime is over in the corner, like
Yeah, like
pointing to her bedroom, like
pointing to her, pointing to Heathcliff.
Yeah, putting up the zero on one hand and the finger going into it on the other.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, just so you know, they're fucking.
Then the mime just goes, they're fucking. Starts smoking cigarettes.
Your wife has been
fucking. And Edgar's like, that doesn't do anything.
What do you speak
What
of,
does a mime know?
What do you speak
This
of?
mime must be clowning.
What is this devil language
What is
you
this
speak?
term fucking you speak of? What is
Warlock,
that?
kill him.
But the scene that I was waiting for is that after she's finally starting to feel a little bit better, Heathcliff is telling Nellie like, hey, I want to see Catherine again. And Nellie is like, no. She's like, she just like started getting over you. She's just now starting to feel better. If you go see her, you will kill her. Like she will literally, you will break her heart so bad that she will not be able to recover from that heartbreak and she will die. And we have been shown no evidence that she's being hyperbolic. Like when this girl is going through this grieving process, she's about to starve herself to death. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, we all understand now that's like she probably had sepsis. She probably had TB. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things that like we just didn't know what illnesses were back then.
I mean, best weight loss thing I've ever heard of.
But Heathcliff,
Old school Ozempic.
Heathcliff being the piece of shit that he is, he shows Nellie his gun and he's like, hey, we can do this one of two ways. You can find a way to sneak me in to go see Catherine, or I will show up there and I will fucking beat the shit out of every single guard, every single servant. I'll put a bullet in Edgar Linton's fucking head and I will beat everyone to a pulp and kill everyone who gets in my way. Or you can let me go see her, but I guess it'll be your choice. It's your fault if everyone dies.
I'd ask him to kill
If everyone gets beaten to a pulp and then I kill Linton, that's your fault. That's your fault, not mine.
If
so let me see her.
man wanted me so bad he would kill people to get to me,
Is that the appeal of this movie? I'm still trying to
Here's the thing.
I'd let him kiss me a little
Then
bit.
Nellie's like, I guess you can see him then. What the fuck,
I
man?
guess so.
What are you free on Friday? I mean, I don't.
If that's
You
my
make him
only
it too?
option is you beat all of my friends to a bloody pulp and kill the master of the house, then I guess I'll fucking
Edgar
sneak you
won't
in.
be here at 2 p.m.
And you
Fucking
see-
hell.
Do you like Earl Grey tea? I can set
Crumpets?
something up.
You like finger sandwiches?
She sneaks him in, and then he sees her, and then she dies from a heartbreak. So that's what happens in the movie. Now,
what did she say at the end to Heathcliff?
I don't
Like,
remember.
you killed me or something?
So yeah, Catherine says this to Heathcliff the last time that they see each other. She says, "You have killed me. Like you."
She's well aware.
Me not being able to be with you is so heartbreaking, and you continuing to fill my heart with joy and then rip it away from me is killing me.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing she says to him, and that's the big focus of the movie is, he has this final, which I love this in the book and in the movie. Again, I think, Daniel, you're right that more context and a better, like, it's way better in the book, and more context would have made it better. But in the book, when Catherine dies, Heathcliff has this like monologue, and he does it in the movie too, where he's basically, what he's saying is, if I have killed you, so be it. But I love you so much that I want you to hate me so bad that you come back to haunt me. And I want you to come back as a devil or as a specter or as a ghost or whatever. And I want you to haunt me into madness. I want you to drive me crazy and fill every single ounce of my body with fear and torment for the rest of my life, because it means I would have you in my life. I will take that over you not being here. Like, and it's this really beautiful speech that he gives in this torment. And then, like, he gives it to her while she's like she's dead in the bed. And, that's not how it happens in the novel. Obviously, he just says this like to himself and to Nellie, who's there, who has to be there for every single scene. By the way, every scene of them fucking everything, Nellie has to be in the room because she's the narrator of the book.
She's behind
So
a
she's just,
bush in the back, like,
checking her watch and like, all right, go on. That ends, and then that's not even close to the end of the book, okay? Because in the book, and I think this is such a better story. So first of all, let's start with Heathcliff and Isabella's relationship. Here's how it was changed for the movie. In the movie, he goes to Isabella and he says, do you want me? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, I'll marry you, but not because I will never love you. I will never treat you right. And I'm only doing this to torment Catherine. And
he did that in the movie.
And that's it. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what happens in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is what happens in the movie.
Sorry,
This
I
is
got
not what
confused.
happens in the book. In the book, he just completely tricks her into thinking that he's in love with her.
He doesn't lay out his intentions.
You're so beautiful and I want to marry you, bitch.
No, yeah, he tricks her entirely, and then also turns out he's not that wealthy. He just takes her back to Wuthering Heights, which is like
dancing
the
on the corner isn't
older,
gonna get you that
poor,
much.
whatever. So he tricks her entirely. They get married and they run off, and then he brings her back to Wuthering Heights, where he's like, "All right, now go to your fucking room. I don't ever want to see you again." And she's like, "Whoa, what?" He's like, "Yeah, you're my property now, so just get the fuck out of my face. I'm only doing this because I hate Edgar, and it pisses him off that I'm married to you, and it pisses Catherine off, so that's why I'm doing it." Yeah, in the movie, she becomes like a literal fucking sexual hound demon to him, and just becomes the like most
Girl
hardcore
power,
sub
bro.
that you've ever seen.
Yeah, that was something. So obviously, just being on social media, you see stuff about. You see discourse about this book and stuff. The only things I really heard about this book before the movie came out and I was able to see it were that Jacob Elordi's character in the book is supposed to be racially ambiguous.
Yeah.
And then I saw that they said, they completely changed Isabella's character. They said in the book, in the movie, they make it seem like she kind of wanted it. And that she was into it. And she was like, yeah, I like being his little slave. They said in the book, it's way more brutal. And it is clearly like Heathcliff is a fucking deranged animal and she does not want it. There is no pleasure for her out of it.
No, she literally becomes like a prisoner. Like she is tormented daily. She gets beaten by him anytime she steps out of line. One of Catherine's brothers is still living at that home when they go back. And he even says to Isabella, he's like, when you guys go to bed at night, you need to lock the door from the inside of your room, because if you don't, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to fucking kill Heathcliff. I'm going to put a bullet in his head. And I swear to God, I will not be able to stop myself the second
Why did she let him?
The second I start drinking a little bit. Well, that's the thing. What ends up happening with them two is that she gets pregnant, and Heathcliff comes home one day, and he comes home so late that essentially what the brother is saying in that scenario is he's saying, when I get drunk. They don't like lay it out that way, but that's essentially what he's saying. He's saying, once I get drunk a little bit, I'm going to fucking kill this guy, because I can only control myself from doing that when I'm sober, but then as soon as I get drunk. So Heathcliff comes home too late one night. This guy's already drunk, and they're like shooting at each other from inside and outside of the house and like fighting. And like literally like
sounds like
the
such
brother,
a fun scene.
it does like a fun scene. The brother is literally telling Isabella, like, he's like, I'm not going to go out there because he's just going to shoot me. So you need to open the door, have him come in where you are, and then I'll shoot him as soon as he comes in. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. She's like, listen, if you guys want to fucking kill each other, kill each other. I'm not going to be part of this.
She's like, men.
Yeah, literally.
Boys will be boys.
She's like, whatever.
Yeah.
So then, Heathcliff comes in and he gets stabbed for a quick second. And then he gets the knife and he stabs the other guy, and then he shoots him, and there's fucking blood everywhere, and they were beating the fuck out of each other. And then Heathcliff ends up killing him entirely.
Oh, fuck.
And then he's like, hey, Joseph, come
shit.
get him out of here, please. Get him
I thought this was going to be like one of those Nerf gun fights you have when you're a kid, and they would both be fine and just shake on it.
Wanted to kill each other. And,
shit.
And Heathcliff ends up killing him. So,
damn.
But in that struggle, in that whole thing, Isabella ends up being able to escape now because this guy was helping keep her a prisoner, right? So now this guy's not around. Heathcliff has to leave. So she leaves. She's able to like trick the guards, and she takes advantage of lapse judgment in this time, and she escapes. When she escapes, she ends up having her son, and she raises her son for a long time until she ends up dying of TB. So I was like, not only did you change this character Isabella to being like, oh, I want it, and you changed their relationship to an honest, oh, this is exactly what I'm telling you, exactly my intentions and what's going to happen, instead of it just being a pure, sexist and amoral thing for Heathcliff, because everyone would be like, wow, Heathcliff is a huge piece of shit for manipulating this woman, whatever. They want you in the movie to like him. They want you in the movie to want them to be together. You know what I'm saying? So like that's part of it.
Very different.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, I'm like, in a more sexist way, you remove Isabella's autonomy. You remove Isabella's power and her strength and her courage and her character arc, because in the movie she goes from this dumb ditzy girl who doesn't know any better and just falls for Heathcliff even though everyone tells her that he's a piece of shit, and then she gets her her feet up underneath her. She grows harder and she grows more powerful and more strong as the time goes on, until she eventually escapes her captor and then raises her son on her own. It's like there's this whole arc where she just becomes a strong, independent woman from being this girl who needed servants and needed all this lavish life that she was living as a Linton, that she becomes this hardened person who's able to raise this child on her own. And you just remove that for her entirely. You just take that away from her.
Yeah, because
I hate that.
Her character in this movie is just from the get-go pathetic.
Yeah.
And embarrassing. And yeah, so that's a huge difference. That's a huge difference.
Yeah. Also, the other thing, and this isn't that important, Catherine's dad dies before the Lintons even move in. He dies super early on in the book. And I think he's in the movie throughout the book. You want to talk about pathetic characters.
I think that he was my favorite performance in casting in the movie. I thought he was, I really like the casting of the young Heathcliff a lot, but because that kid is just such a good actor. But yeah, I loved I think that this was my favorite performance in the movie, was the father. When they come back and his hair's all grown out, even his sideburns, and he smiles and his teeth look fucking disgusting. It just felt so real. I was like, finally, this feels real. This feels authentic and true. And it's not as glossy and it's dark and it's and that's what I was expecting, just based on, again, I thought it was supposed to be a dark romance / smut book. And again, Charlie XCX releases House, and I'm like, oh, this song's dark and gritty and fucked up and haunting. So I was really, yeah. So when I get a taste of that, that's why I was like, man, I love that scene a lot, especially the lighting in that scene and how it's, so dark around him, and he looks like a figure emerging from the shadows. It's awesome.
He has the best moment in the movie because, his house just turns into ruins, after Catherine leaves, and when she comes back to visit him, he's just so disheveled. And when she throws money on the ground to show him here's your money if that's all you care about. And then she tries to walk away. And he goes, no. You wanted to watch me gravel for your coins on the ground, so you're going to watch me do it like a pathetic man.
Yeah.
And he gets on the ground and starts graveling for the money she threw. And it's just he kind of got her ass there. I was like, I know, you don't get to walk away. You wanted to imagine me crawling around the ground and picking up this money, but you're going to watch me do it.
Yeah. I like that scene. Yeah.
It reminded me of kind of he almost is like a Mike Flanagan character in a way. Like this setting is almost like, you know, Falling of the House of Usher, you know, stylized, and like his like disheveled like grossness just reminds me of something you would see in a Mike Flanagan project. So it was like it had a little bit of horror element in that moment. And even when like, but then like when they show him dead and he has all those bottles stacked up, now I'm like Tim Burton. I'm like, this is Tim Burton.
Fantasy. Yeah.
Or like Willy Wonka type of
surrealism.
But yeah, so it in the book, here's everything that happens after the end of this movie. Okay, and let me tell you guys, and you guys can tell me if you think that it was a good idea to make this movie primarily about this relationship. Okay, so in the book, Catherine does not lose the baby. The baby is born. Okay, after the baby is born, and again, everything that's happening with Elizabeth all happens after, or sorry, Isabella. Everything that happens with Isabella happens after Catherine passes away.
Okay.
Catherine has a child. They named this child Kathy, by the way. Dumbest fucking decision in literature history. But anyways, in the book, Kathy is born, and when Kathy is born, Edgar Linton is like, okay.
But I thought Kathy died.
See what I'm saying? So Edgar Linton changes his ways. He's like, listen, I'm not going to be away all the time anymore. I'm going to show affection to my family, and I'm going to raise this daughter the right way, right? So he raises her to be a kind and loving person who reads and loves literature and loves life and is very happy in her life, okay? And at a certain point in her life, they find out that Isabella has passed away. So then Linton, her son, comes to live with them for a little bit of time. Now, Kathy is like, I didn't even know I had a cousin. I didn't know that I had other family outside of these walls, you know, like I had no idea. So she meets Linton and she's like, I love Linton. He's a great guy and I love having more family. And they start to develop a friendship, right? But then Heathcliff shows up and he goes, that's my son. So I'm taking him back. And she's like, you gotta be fucking, everybody's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This guy's showing up again. So when Heathcliff takes Linton away,
vindictive bitch,
he waits a couple of years and he finds Kathy and he's like, hey, so you remember your cousin Linton that you loved so much and you wanted to spend more time with? Well, he's living with me in Wuthering Heights if you want to come see him. And she's like, oh yeah. And then everyone, including Nellie, especially Nellie, is like, do not spend any time with Heathcliff. He's a piece of shit. And Kathy's like, but I gotta for my cousin. And she's like, please, please, please do not do this. And then Heathcliff literally just straight up lays out his evil plan to Nellie. He says, oh, I don't give a fuck about Kathy. I give a shit about her. I want her and Linton to fall in love with each other. And then when they marry each other, by the way, they're cousins. It's Old English, whatever. When they fall in love with each other and get married, I'll just fucking kill both of them and I'll have all of her money. I'll have all of Edgar's money. So I'm just going to let them fall in love. I'm going to kill Edgar. I'm going to make my son sick on purpose and so that he dies. And then I'm going to kill Kathy and I'm going to have all of her money. So I don't give a fuck about them. So in case you want to know whether or not this guy's a bad guy or not.
Yeah.
And then again, Nellie is like, hey, Kathy, stop spending time with Linton. And she's like, no. And she's like, you're just like your fucking mother. Oh my God.
This is why they named her Kathy.
This is why they named her this. So she keeps spending time with him. And by the way, Linton is a weird fucking little prick of a kid. And he's like, he like wants to be as mean as his dad is, but he's just such a little bitch that he can't do it all the time, you know? And he's like, he ends up getting really sick, whatever. But it starts to get to the point to where it's like, okay, Edgar is really sick now and Edgar's about to pass away. So Heathcliff becomes desperate. He's like, I need them to get married now. So what does he do? He kidnaps her and Nellie and he forces them into the home and he's like, I'm going to force you to marry Linton as soon as possible because Linton's about to die and your dad's about to die. So they are literally imprisoned in his home for 5 days before somebody comes and rescues them, but it's too late. He's already forced Linton and Kathy to be married. But here's the thing. So they run back to the home to where Edgar Linton is and they're like, Edgar, here's what's going on, everything that's happening, Heathcliff, we don't know where he is right now, but we need you to change your will. We need you to change the will to where the money does not go to Kathy, that the money goes into some kind of trust that is supposed to take care of Kathy for the rest of her life or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, they get all these people together and they're trying to find the solicitor, the lawyer to change this will. And they can't find him. And every time they find him, he's like, I'm busy, whatever. And so then Edgar dies. And then Heathcliff shows up to the house. As soon as Edgar dies, the next day Heathcliff shows up and he's like, oh, pretty nice house I have here now. So he takes the house And the solicitor shows up and they're like, hey, man, where the fuck were you? And he's like, oh, Heathcliff paid me off to not come here and change the will. And you're like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. The whole fucking time, this piece of shit. And then he's like, well, since Linton is about to pass away and you're his property, you're not my property, so Kathy, you can shut the fuck up forever now, and if you ever step out of line, I'll beat the shit out of you. Because I fucking hate you. Why does he hate her so much? Why does he treat her like shit? Why is she now a fucking prisoner in his home that he forced her into? Because women are property. That's why. Because women just have no rights, no nothing, no. And even the whole time, like even Ellie is like, if anybody had any morals, then you could just have them, annul everything, because you could just go to the police and say, hey, they forced this, but they're like, well, it doesn't matter because she's a woman, so who gives a shit? So it's very sad. So then she lives, as essentially a prisoner for a very long time, and even into the beginning of the novel where we meet Mr. Lockwood, who's living in the other house, these days. So what ends up happening with her, long story short, she's living with her other cousin from the other brother, the one who got killed by Heathcliff, has been living in the house the whole time too. She ends up falling in love with him, and then when Heathcliff dies, them two get married. The Kathy and her cousin get married, and when Heathcliff dies is the end of the book. And I was just like, this entire section of the movie or the book where Kathy is being manipulated by Heathcliff, and she's spending time with Linton and she doesn't really want to, and she thinks that she's a strong, independent woman and she can do whatever she wants and nobody can hurt her. And how many times people tell her, stop spending time with Linton, stop being anywhere near Heathcliff. And she's just like, but I gotta, because what about Linton? He's gonna miss me. And he's doing the exact manipulation tactics that his dad did to Catherine all the time, where he's like, if you don't come and see me, I'm gonna die. And she's like, but I have to. And it's just like, that is just such a better story to me. It's such a more dynamic, it's such a more like Game of Thrones type of story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, different moving pieces, a little bit of politics, a little bit of he said, she said, planning, conniving. Yeah. And it's funny too, as you mentioned all this book, because I'm like, it's funny that men must have wrote this, but only like a woman can detail the horrors of man like that. You know what I mean? And detail like how, especially a story that goes, so the biggest piece of shit, most evil person, they win. That. And detailing how
he gets to live out the rest of his life as a happy, wealthy man. Like that's literally towards the end of the book, they're like, he's acting weird. Why? Because he's not happy. I'm like, oh, so he was just totally happy all the time, just fucking abusing the daughter of the woman he said he loved. Yeah. Like, what? This guy is such a piece of shit. Like, it's just like, I hate that. And going into the movie, I was like, I know they're not going to do this. I know they're not going to make Heathcliff as bad of a person as he actually was. Mm-hmm. They just make him sexy. That's all they did. They ruined. I hated how they changed Nellie's character. I like Nellie's changes were the worst to me. Obviously, Isabella, they removed her entire character arc because they don't have that second half of the movie or the book at all.
Yeah, any redemption.
And so there's no redemption for her. And of course, they removed the brothers and their stories, which I'm not even going to get into because it's like, what's the point? But it's like, yeah, I mean, like when Kathy marries her cousin, well, he was orphaned because his dad was murdered and they had a relationship and all that it happened in the book. They just got rid of it all, So yeah, it was just it was a very, when you talk about it being an adaptation, there are moments in this movie that are word for word what was in the book. There are moments in the story that were extremely integral to the story of the book that were done in the movie very well. I think like one of the best examples is when Catherine tells Nellie that she has gotten engaged with, Mr. Linton, Heathcliff is listening at the door. And the only thing he hears at the beginning is her say, if I were to marry Heathcliff, that would degrade me. That would be disgusting, whatever. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, fuck that. And he leaves. And Nellie knew that he was there the whole time.
In that scene when Heathcliff is standing on the outside of the door and he hears her, I would be degraded to marry Heathcliff. And then he leaves right before she's like, but I love him and I'm going to break off this, classic. It's like a TV thing. Yeah. But I just imagine as he's walking away, the Arrested Development bit where the shoulders slumped to the Snoopy song.
Oh yeah.
When they're walking away, that's what I was imagining. Like Heath goes like, oh, just like playing the song. I thought that'd be fun.
I think it'd be even funnier if like if he walks away and she's like, but I love him and I'll break this marriage off for him, and then he's like, and he turns around and comes back and she's like, but I just don't know. He's such a nasty boy and so stinky and ugly.
That's what you would do in the parody for sure.
Yeah. He just keeps going back and forth. It's the worst time.
But maybe.
Yeah. And it's like, so yeah, that part was done almost exactly how it happens in the novel. Mm-hmm. So that part was a really, very good adaptation. You know, his little speech to her at the very end of the movie was very, you know, reminiscent of the novel. But again, there was just so much about it that was changed, and some for the better. You know, I don't like how much sexism there is in the book. I don't like that women and children are beaten as often as they are. But at the same time, if you're going to be honest to this book, like that would literally be it, to me. It is such an integral part of this book. It would be like making an adaptation of Game of Thrones where no one dies. Mm-hmm. Like it's like, whoa, that's like a huge part of the book. Like people are. Like the biggest piece of discourse around this book was this book is so violent and gruesome and brutal and brutish. And they just removed all of that and just made it glossy, happy. And then the one time a kid gets beaten, he's basically fine. They just cut to him as an adult with scars on his back. It's like, oh man, he's sad.
Yeah.
Now, getting into what Taylor was going to be on here to talk about was, first of all, this movie was being very highly promoted as a dark romance. Mm-hmm. From your understanding, first of all, explain to us what a dark romance is. Okay? And we'll explain to you what a black comedy is. I'm not talking about the Nutty Professor.
Oh, wow.
And then tell us if you thought this was a dark romance and how and why.
Okay, so I've read a number of dark romances in my time. One of the most notable, this girl gets fucked with a gun. And then another dark romance was a girl was being fucked while being drowned at the same time. Okay? Listen, here we are. And then another one, which was...
I'm getting the dark. Waiting for the romance.
The fucked is the part. Is the romance part.
The thing about dark romances is the key to a dark romance, not necessarily the sex part. The key to a dark romance is obsession. You have to have a serious amount of crazy obsession in order to want to be fucked while being drowned, you know? Okay. Or
I'm finding out today that a Serbian film is a dark romance.
It's a dark romance.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. That's...
There's a lot. Another dark romance I read was this it was a fanfic. Oh. So it was a book. Another one I read was a book that was a fanfic from The Boy. Is that that? Yeah, The Boy. And that one was really good. I really enjoyed it, and it really got that fix for me that The Boy could have been an amazing dark romance, but instead it was a shitty horror film. Whereas the book I read was a really, really good dark romance, but there was that obsession there. The girl was obsessed with this boy who has no ability to understand relationships, no ability to understand nuances and things you're supposed to do in relationships, but he's a good fuck. He's a good fuck because all he has is these animalistic instincts.
This sounds so problematic to me. I'm sorry.
It is.
So dark romances...
taking advantage of a mentally disabled person.
He's also,
but they fuck good, so fuck him.
But he's also consenting to it the entire time because he only has animalistic instincts. The only thing he connects to this is sex, you know? So that's another... that was a good point because that's a key thing in dark romances is it... Most of the time, it's really fucking problematic.
Gotcha, okay.
The book, Haunting Adeline, where this girl gets fucked with a pistol...
I thought that was Den of Vipers.
No, that's a whole other thing.
Is that a dark romance?
And don't get me started.
Den of Vipers is a dark romance, yeah.
Don't get me started on Vin of Diapers, because that one is real weird.
That was a good point about dark romances is you require the obsession and the problematic parts of it in order for it to be a dark romance. Mm-hmm. So like I don't know, like some of my favorite books, A Touch of Darkness, Akotar, I would not consider those dark romances because that was just love, affection with a lot of story behind it. Wuthering Heights, the movie we watched, I would consider that a dark romance based on the obsession part and the big fucking issues with them even being in a relationship. So yes, I would consider this a dark romance. The original book, no. That is a historical fiction. Now, to be fair, I haven't read the book in a really long time. And my frame for dark romances is it's got to be smut. So,
well, the thing is that this could be a dark romance in terms of that section is a dark romance.
Yeah.
But the whole novel is not.
Like
It's
the section that they chose to adapt is a dark. Is that what you're saying?
yes.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
like the obsession is there. The fact that they should not be together is there.
Yeah.
The fact that their relationship
person's
is
married
problematic, in a certain aspect is there. And again, and I think and also when I just think of like dark, the word dark in general, their relationship is dark. Like the concept of being so obsessed with somebody that when they leave you, that you go into madness until you die is very dark. That is very like hyper fictionalized version of grief and, sadness and sorrow and all these things. So like that part, and the thing is that when you're reading the book, I don't feel very much sympathy for either character. And I think in the movie, they wanted us to feel that way. They wanted us to feel sympathy for both of them. But in the book, I'm like, Kathy, you are a dumb fucking bitch. You fucking idiot. Why would you get involved with this man in the first place? And why would you allow yourself to go so insane? And for Heathcliff, I'm like, yeah, the love of your life died because they told you to stay the fuck away from her and you didn't. And if you had, she would be alive. Now, probably not true. They don't know what illnesses are. But like I'm like, yeah, like you, when she says you killed me, that's true. You coming back to her destroyed her so viscerally, emotionally that she died from it. If you hadn't, and guess what? Nellie told you this was going to happen. Nellie told you if you go see her again, she's going to die. And then she dies. And it's like, yeah, it's your fault, man. And in the novel, it's like, even like Edgar Linton feels bad for Heathcliff at the end of the book. Or sorry, at the end of the movie. Even he is like, you don't want to go in there, man. It's really bad. Like, it's going to break your heart. If I was Edgar, and that, like, he is such a pussy, bro. It'd been on sight. Heathcliff shows up to my house after my wife just died because of his fucking bullshit. I would have popped that fool in the head the second he walked out of my property.
100%. There were multiple characters, like even the father. Like, Heathcliff still lives in that house with the father.
Insane.
That used to beat the fuck out of him. I was like, I grew up to be in Jacob Elordi's shape, wielding an axe and shit. I would have beat the fuck out of this old pathetic fart. Like, I would have, are you kidding me? I would have got my lick back hard. But,
no one gets their lick back in this movie.
Yeah.
No, but not Elizabeth doesn't get her lick back.
Even the husband, when Heathcliff comes back and he's like, you don't want to go in there. Nah, fuck that. Even if you don't want to just kill him on sight, which you should, I would have been like, she's gone. And right before she passed, she said, your dick was bad. She said, I laid pipe way better than you, by the way. That was her last words.
She did say to Heathcliff.
I laid pipe.
The last time her and Heathcliff were together, she did say that to him. She was like, no, he fucks me good. He's actually really good. And we know this is not true.
Yeah, she's trying
They showed it. It's like, but yeah, it's just funny to me that you were saying that part of the discourse was like, oh, there should have been way more sexual aspects of this movie. That's not true at all from the book. But obviously, like, that's part of it too, because if you're Taylor and you're someone who's read all these novels and you say, hey, Taylor, do you want to go watch this movie? It's a dark romance of a book, and people are saying that it's supposed to be like smutty. Like, are you disappointed by the sexual aspect of this book and like what the expectations were?
I wasn't disappointed. I think I am a person. See, here's the problem. Here's a problem I have, because I am a person who historically does not like unnecessary nudity. Like, I don't. It's something that I don't think is movie driven 90% of the time. We watched something the other day where there was just a scene of a bunch of naked fucking men for no reason. And then it clipped away from that, and I was like, what are we doing? It was The Notebook.
We were watching The Notebook, and there's just a scene of a
scene.
bunch of men getting examined for the military, and they're all naked holding their dicks. And I was
It
like,
lasted for like 2 seconds, and I was like, what?
I turned to Taylor, I said, most necessary nudity of all time.
So honestly, there was no necessary nudity. Now, I know some people believe there is some really necessary nudity.
Yeah, we have different interpretations of necessity.
Exactly.
Yeah, how do you do shame without nudity?
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. Well, no, there have been movies where I think the nudity was necessary, you know, but there are other movies where most of the time I don't think. Like Django. I think there was necessary nudity in that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, you can't show the degradingness of what we did to the slaves without forcing them to be naked in the woods, you know, that kind of thing.
Now, I will say, if there was a significant amount of nudity in this movie, it was story-driven. It was very, very story-driven, and it would have gone with the wind, okay?
Gone with the Wind has so much nudity.
So much fucking nudity in that 5-hour film. But
6.
6 of 6.
7.
7.
Oh, 6, 7.
I'm tearing the world apart. But
Dramatic eyes.
I personally was not
the world apart.
disappointed by the lack of nudity and the quote tamed down sex scenes, I guess. I don't know if they were tamed down, but the other thing that...
One of them was tamed up. When Joseph was piping that fucking... First of all, Joseph doesn't do none of that shit. He has the biggest glow up from the book to the movie, because in the book, he is just a miserable old man who is like a clergyman and is like, you know, very religious and wants everyone to follow the Lord, the law of the Lord, you know, whatever. And then in the movie, he fucks the shit out of some other servant lady who has some tig old bitties, and he puts a fucking horse, you know, whatever thing in her mouth.
That was
the thing you put in a horse's mouth.
Rain.
Yeah.
Rain.
That is what I expected out of Heathcliff and Catherine's relationship. And that is not what happened. So their sex was pretty vanilla from what I saw in the movie. From what I have read.
That's what I was surprised by.
It was pretty vanilla.
Sure.
Yes. I thought they were going to go fucking
he doesn't
crazy.
even go doggy at any point. It's missionary.
I know, fucking lame.
He doesn't hit it from the back once.
There's like moments where I'm like, okay, like this is... When he picks her up, I was like, I get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
when he picks her up by her corset, I was like,
the corset scene, I was like,
do it again.
That I get.
He set her down, and I was like, no, pick her back up, pick her back up.
A lot of, and that's the lack of variety of that was one of the things that frustrated me, because when they do this whole, it's essentially a montage of them making out and fucking, it's just a lot of him sticking his tongue out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
a lot of breathing, a lot of
that
licking.
over and over and over. He just licks her, and I'm like, okay. Like, there's got to be something more inventive here, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
if they went more like Poor Things with it, where when she becomes a prostitute in Poor Things, it is a different type of sex in every single.
Exactly.
It's just like, look, she's done everything. It's like, if they'd gone more that route, it would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that the movie actually flourished with the lack of nudity, because I think that it was a little more like titillating. And I think that, I was like, oh, wow. Like,
I think it would have been more titillating if there was tits out.
I was waiting for him to say something when I said titillating. I was like, David, are you still here? But
boobies out equals titillating.
Booby equal tit.
I want to be titillated.
But yeah, like the scene where she goes and touches herself on the edge of that, which, by the way, Jesus Christ, she's standing so close to the edge. And I'm like, girl, scoot back.
Scoot back. You're too close to me.
But yeah, I thought, I was like, oh, that scene does more by being completely shrouded by this long dress and seeing just her breaths up top. I'm like, I like that more than something more explicit. And then also it just keeps building. You're seeing these two fucking hot ass people in Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie, like doing all this stuff. So it starts building up, and it's like, oh shit, okay, getting hot and heavy. And then by the time there's like that scene where he's reaching up and grabbing her boob, and her boob is like almost popping out of that corset. It's like, that's hot. The fact that you don't see it and it's like edging you a little bit, like that, I think it's actually kind of a decent choice. But again, that's just talking about the physical, more hot and heavy, this is supposed to be arousing type stuff.
Right.
Whereas the end of the movie is this, oh my God, she died. And I'm like, okay, who cares? I don't believe that y'all were in love. Like,
you were in lust.
Y'all just fucked, and you're like, I'm in love with, like, that's why I'm like, this is such a teenager story to me.
But it's also
teenagers are the ones that go, I think I'm in love with him because he fucked me. Like,
which, by the way, book was written by Emily Bronte when she was a teenager, is my understanding, is that her and her sister were writing, like, poetry, and then no one liked it, so they started writing novels, and they were both very, like, reclusive people who stayed indoors a lot, but they were very observant. They observed a lot of stuff around them and kind of wrote what they saw. And so that's part of why it's like so much more, like when you say like, oh yeah, it's actually more realistic how poorly men treated women and stuff like that in the book. But at the same time, you look at it from the perspective of a teenager, you're like, oh, well, if someone has sex with someone else for when they want to, that's love. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, if you're a dumb teenager, you don't know what love is. It's like, yeah, there are so many examples I can give you of love that have nothing to do with sex. Absolutely nothing to do with it. But if you're a teenager in the 1700s and you're like, oh, every time two people have sex, it's because the woman has to because she's his property. But when two people choose to have sex with each other because they want to, that's what love is. If that's what you think love is, then yeah, you're probably young and naive, and you can probably believe that that is a representation of two people in love. But it's not. They're just fucking horny. And we know, and then you go and you watch Blue Valentine, and it's two people fucking each other when they want to, and it has nothing to do with love. And, it's a pure lust. And then you see that there's different types of love that aren't represented in that movie that should have been, So, like, yeah, I get what you're saying. And I think that it is, when you say it's like a teenager, like, yeah, if you're a teenager, you might think two people fucking each other because they want to, not because they have to, is love.
Yeah. I will say, sex aside, you made a point to talk about how they didn't expand on their relationship enough in between how much Heathcliff was being abused, how much they grew up together, things like that. But I personally think that would have been redundant to go through their childhood like that throughout the movie, But they did spend too long in those scenes with Heathcliff and Kathy fucking. I'm like, okay, I get it. They are fucking. They're fucking every day. They're fucking all the time. They only do missionary. They're really lame. Okay, I get that. And then also when Heathcliff is tormenting Kathy and she's literally dying because she's allowed herself to miscarry and then have trigger warning, by the way, to get sepsis and develop sepsis and all these things. I think they dragged that out too much. So they could have had more character development in their relationship from when they were kids up to teenagers, etc. I just also think like Heathcliff being abused, I think expanding on that was unnecessary because they set the tone. We don't need to see 12 more scenes of Heathcliff being punched and kicked and all these things. If I got whipped on the back and I had all these streaks of blood, that would fucking hurt. That would be awful for me. And so I think they set the tone with that. And I think they set the tone with Heathcliff and Kathy because now they're growing up in this household, this abusive household, and they're the only two that are their age, And they're not like Nellie where they are the help, quote unquote. They are the kids of the house, supposedly.
Yeah. I think that removing the brothers does hurt that part of the movie. And I think the reason why I say that is that, yeah, when you have the only two kids who are their age hanging out with each other every day, then it's like, well, yeah, of course they do. But when you have her brothers there where you see that there are other people their age still hanging, whatever, and they still choose to spend time with each other separate from everyone else, you understand that they have a special relationship that's just for them two and not for anybody else.
Yeah, that would have helped for sure.
I see that, but then you're also adding characters that are a little bit pointless because the focus of the movie, the focus of the reimagining, I'm not even going to call it an adaptation because it wasn't. This is a reimagining of that story. I do not see this as an adaptation at all. They pulled some key, they pulled some key scenes from that book, but I don't think this was a true adaptation because, like, The Fault in Our Stars is a true adaptation. Right.
I think if you're going to reimagine it, and I do agree with what you're saying because it is more of a reimagining because they removed some characters, they changed some characters pretty significantly, but I also think that what they didn't do was they didn't add anything. That's what I was saying in spoiler talk. Is I'm like, yeah, you can like. The scene of her and of Kathy and Catherine, sorry, because Kathy to me is the daughter and Catherine is the mom. But
They call her Kathy in the movie.
I know, and it gets really confusing in the book too because they also do that.
Well, focus on the movie.
Catherine and Heathcliff, when they are trapped out in the rain. Okay, that does happen in the novel as well, and it is something they constantly refer back to. But in the novel, it wasn't that they came home super late and then they got punished for being out super late. It was they came home so late that their punishment was they were forced to stay outside in the rain for the rest of the night. And they like cuddled together under a tree, you know, for safety and warmth while it was, you know, pouring rain outside. And like that's the memory that they always go back to. Now in the movie, they go back to this moment of them holding hands for the first time, you know, and whatever. And I think that, again, that scene is a great scene to show, like, oh, look at these two kids who are spending time with each other. They, you know, whatever. I think it's better in the book if you picture a scene of two kids like cuddling together under a tree in the dark, in the rain. You know, you understand that closeness and that like romantic, you know, element of their relationship more so than just like seeming like a brother and sister type of relationship or seeming just like friends. You can tell that it becomes romantic. But if you're going to reimagine this story, then you can add more scenes. You can add scenes of them falling in love with each other as kids that weren't in the book. But nothing that happens in here, you know, wasn't like, even like you say, oh, well, we changed Isabella's character. We changed her character. We didn't remove her character. We didn't add to her character. We changed it. Now it's, oh, she is enjoying this. She's into it. But what happens to her is the same. She still does run away and marry Heathcliff.
And she's still technically being abused. And she's still technically being abused. And she still goes into a, you know, torn down home with no servants and all this stuff the way that she does in the book. But you didn't add anything to her character. You didn't add any elements. So it's like they changed some stuff and they removed some stuff, but they didn't add anything to build more context. If you're going to take this small section of the book, reimagine it, and then put it into, you know, an adaptation, then let's add some elements. Like Daniel said, like it's just they're just making out every time they see each other. Like,
and maybe that's the point. Maybe the point is, yeah, they're not in love. It's a bunch of bullshit. They just think they are and they say they are. Like, if that's the takeaway or if that's the intent, like that's fine. I'm just saying, I really felt it looking, the movie ends, I look over and Taylor's bawling and I'm like, how?
Tears streaming down my face.
Like, what did she connect to in this? Because this felt so phony to me. So I had nothing to connect to. So I am someone that, I'm a movie crier. Y'all know that. I cried in movies so often and easily, apparently, compared to some of my peers. So I'm just like, okay, like this one didn't even get nothing out of me. Like I don't know.
I think the reason I was crying, I did like this movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I want to own it. I want to watch it again. I want to listen to the soundtrack. I loved it. But in the end, the reason I was crying so hard is Heathcliff was not aware that Catherine was dying. All he was getting from her was radio silence because Nellie was burning the letters he was sending via Isabel. And so he did not know she was dying. He did not know she was sick. He didn't know any of these things. And so all out of the fucking blue, he hears that the love of his fucking life is gone. She is gone. She died a horrific death. And then he has this big grand speech that David gave us earlier, and it was heartbreaking for Heathcliff. It's like he didn't know what he was doing was causing this much pain, which also I think Catherine's a horrible fucking in the movie. I know Heathcliff in the book, but I haven't read the book in years. In the movie, the adaptation that we are talking about, reimagining that we are talking about, Catherine is a shitty fucking person. Catherine is the worst person in the reimagining. In my opinion. Heathcliff sucks, but I think Catherine is the worst person. Catherine's fucking pathetic, all right? You have this big fucking house. You're allowing this man who lives 5 miles down the fucking road to kill you because you don't want to leave your room? Loser. She's a loser, all right? But for that to happen and then Heathcliff blame himself, you know, it is heartbreaking for Heathcliff. And so I was fucking weeping just connecting to, I love my husband so much. If this fucking happened, I would be devastated. Gay as fuck. So that is part of the reason I was crying so hard. Like, we watched The Notebook last night. I haven't seen that, and I've never seen that movie. And I was weeping. It's just maybe it's being in a marriage. I don't know. But
yeah, that could be. That's why I'm saying like that could be it. It could be you tying your own experiences, your own personal characters in your actual life, putting yourself kind of projecting that onto the screen and going, oh my gosh, what if me and Dave were apart and I had no idea? You know,
and I do that a lot. I project a lot of my own life experience onto things I read and things I watch. You know.
Yeah, and you were connecting to that story element of going. He has no idea in this reimagining the harm he's causing, and he's getting nothing back because Nellie keeps burning the letters, and that's what we talked about earlier, that the reimagining of Nellie's character. This is her. She caused the death. She caused the death of Catherine. It was her in this movie.
Yeah, because Catherine might not have died if she'd shown her the letters.
Now, if she had TB or sepsis, yeah, she would have died no matter what. Right.
And sepsis was going to kill her no matter what.
I will say too, before, like, and this is pretty much the last thing I have to say about the movie. Yeah. I think that the benefit of having her lose the child in the movie is simply for the overhead shot of the blood coming out.
Right.
I thought it was a really good shot, very harrowing.
Style over substance.
It is very style over substance. But I was like, okay, cool. Like that tracks. I think that's a tragic image. And even a little bit of her pale dead body like worked a little bit. Some of it was a little goofy to me,
like enough to where it's like, it will be triggering if, you know, for people who have had experience.
But I think that really shot,
like brutal,
is harrowing. And I was like, okay, so you get
her her body, dude, just the way how pale they made her, and just it was heartbreaking. Like you really feel like all of her blood has been drained from her body, and the shot of him coming, you know, Heathcliff coming in that long hallway with this dark, you know, black hallway with these red lights coming through, as if he's just like crossing a, you know, unknown boundary, and her body being covered by these silk sheets. A lot of that like ending sequence was really beautiful.
The imagery in this movie was incredible.
Yeah.
Mixed with the music. It was,
when her dad dies, it was and the really, shawl that she has over her blowing in the wind was very like beautiful. Imagery.
I think the style and the music and all of these things worked really well together to create a really moving story for me.
Yeah. The last thing that I want to bring up is just one more comparison to another, because we've been watching a lot of romance movies lately, because Valentine's Day, right? Valentine's Day special. In the movie Crazy Stupid Love, okay, we have a character in Crazy Stupid Love who is known for sleeping with a lot of women and trying to essentially fill a void in his life with sex that, you know, isn't able to be filled. And when he finally meets a woman that he ends up spending the entire night with not having sex and actually talking to for the first time and actually talking about his life and her life and his, the things that he likes and talking about his mother and talking, you know, all these things, he starts to fall in love with her. And it was for the first time in his life, he has a relationship with someone that isn't about sex. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's where he realizes this is what love is. You know, love is not sex. That is a better message to me and a better understanding of relationships and love and passion than, you know, this movie. Because again, I think that Daniel's right. I think if you're just like, well, these two characters fuck each other all the time, that's what love is. And then he's like devastated when she dies. It's like, well, yeah, you're devastated because you don't get to fuck anymore. Like, what? You didn't love her.
But this isn't a love story. This is a story about obsession.
Right.
It is obsession to the point of damnation. That is what this is about. This is not a love story.
It's infatuation.
And I like that perspective. I think that's like, as we've talked about it here, and this is why we do the fucking podcast.
This is why we do it.
As we talk about it, I'm like, oh, okay, that could be the intent. Like you said, it's about obsession. It is about false I love yous. There is no love. So as a viewer, I'm not going to be connected to anything. And when she dies, I'm like, okay. Like, right. When he does his spiel, I'm like, I don't believe any of this. And again, I do think that I just personally did not find a lot of chemistry between these two actors. So that's another part of it as well. And yeah, I think that the story that I'm searching for, that I connect more to, is that. It is, I would have loved to have seen between Heathcliff and Catherine having a conversation about some kind of love that they share for a certain feeling, or how they're treated, or what they look for, just anything. There is no conversations in this movie. The only thing you get is him grabbing her ankle and saying, I'll never leave you, or whatever it is. But again, in that moment, I just see it as brother and sister. I really do.
Right.
It feels like he's a protector and he's an older brother taking care of his younger sister. And I'm just like, yeah. Good on him.
Which is kind of what happens in the book too. And at the end of the book, when the daughter Kathy is falling for her, and this is the juxtaposition that they have, is that if you remember in the movie, Catherine tries to teach Heathcliff how to read, and he just gets so angry. He's like, fuck it, I'm not doing this. I'm never fucking reading ever again. And so Kathy, her cousin, I hate that they're cousins, but whatever. Kathy's cousin is the same way, but he can't read and he gets frustrated when he tries, but she gets mad at him. She's like, I don't want you to degrade my books with your fucking dumb, stupid head that can't even fucking learn how to read. And eventually over time, when they start to fall for each other, when they start to love each other and show passion, she takes that away from her and she starts to teach him how to read because he wants to better himself. He's not like Heathcliff, who essentially raised him because, his dad was murdered by him. So, whatever. But it's like, he's like, I don't want to be stupid. I want to better myself. I want to be a better person. And she's like, you know what? I've been trying to take that away from you. I'm going to give that to you. And so you see this relationship between them develop where she's teaching him how to read and he's listening to her and respecting her as a person and not just seeing her as property. And it's the first time that a relationship between two people in this entire novel is more than just, obligation. And it becomes something, and again, it becomes more than something than an obsession. It's like they're not obsessed with each other. They want to be with each other. They want to love each other. And that's why, like Nellie says, like, their marriage will be the first wedding I attend, she says. Because she's like, because no one deserves to be married more than these two people.
Yeah.
So it is a better, like, understanding, even when you talk about what a dark romance is and how that, the perspective of that, it changes even my perspective of the book now of why that relationship between Kathy and her cousin is significant.
Well, even I think I agree with you, Daniel, that the beginning of the movie is a brother and sister relationship. I think because I had certain expectations of this movie from the trailers, from what I knew of the book, I knew these two characters were going to be together when the movie really started to get going. But at the beginning, it really did just feel like brother and sister. So I completely agree on that point. I don't think they spent enough time on developing that relationship. So,
and like I said, that's why they need the other brothers. But they need the other brothers to show the difference between a brother-sister relationship and this relationship.
But also, I did not. This happened when I watched Twisters. I did not know Jacob Elordi was hot before this. I was not aware. Even when they were showing Heathcliff long hair, dirty as fuck, I was like, that's my type. That's actually
long hair and dirty. With
a beard.
Dude, when he looked like shit, like I
was down bad.
All right, so you guys can follow us on TikTok and whatever.
I'm just saying. And then he comes back. Oh, Lord. And then he comes back and he's rich and he's clean shaven. I'm like, yeah. It made sense to me.
My favorite part of this movie, like I said earlier, was the cinematography. I thought it was the most appealing part of the movie. It was some really beautiful shots, really well composed shots. My least favorite part of this movie, I think is just the choice to focus on this part of the novel as the adaptation. I think that this novel deserves a better adaptation. And I'm going to give it to him. No, I'm just
announcing.
Yeah.
Announcing.
But I'm available, though. If you want a real fan, Emily Bronte, who wrote this book in the 1700s, if you're still around.
This 18th century novel.
So that's my favorite, least favorite part. Daniel?
Yeah, my favorite, I think my favorite scene in the movie was when Heathcliff returned and sat at the dinner, smoking his pipe, being all fucking pompous and kind of bullshitting with his new little gold tooth and shaven face. I really liked I liked it in the sense of the same way that I like some schlock reality TV. Where it is vapid and stupid, but I'm just like, ooh, like I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like I was really invested. Exactly. Like I was invested in the movie in a very dumb, silly drama fueled way. And it was the most entertained I was by the movie was that scene. So I have to say that scene. And then, my least favorite part of the movie is the kind of phoniness that I feel in it. I do agree that it was well shot, but I also think that it was so glossy and the costumes were so ornate and that it felt like it took place on a soundstage, even though it is in a beautiful part of the country. There's something that felt like it was in a dollhouse. Like there was something artificial about it, and that kind of bled into the story itself as well. So I didn't like how artificial a lot of it felt.
Mm-hmm. My least favorite part of the movie is a very, very specific complaint, and it only happened in the first quarter of the movie, but I hated it every fucking time it happened. Something shocking happens, and then the characters go, and they hold their mouth open. And again, they only did it for 15 minutes in the first part of the movie, but I fucking hated it. I don't know. I think they did it for comedic relief, for eccentricity, but I fucking hated it every time. It was so annoying, and it was so just, it didn't fit with anything that was happening. It didn't fit with the characters. It didn't fit with the thing that happened. None of it. Heathcliff breaks a chair. He breaks a chair to burn wood in a fire, and Catherine goes, and she just holds her mouth open for a solid minute, and I'm like, what are you doing?
It's almost
lick his ass then if you're that shocked by it.
I would watch that. Does it feel like it's the movie saying, you're supposed to be turned on by this right now?
Yes, it does, because they did it earlier with the maid.
I kind of see that now.
I'm like, what are we doing here?
Uh-huh.
I can be turned on without that.
They're
when he
reacting
picked her
for
up
you.
by the corset, I was like, I'm wet. Do it again.
Jesus Christ. Chad, don't clip that. Don't use that for whatever you want.
Clip it.
Taylor fan cams.
My favorite part of the movie. This was actually really hard because I really did enjoy this movie. I think my favorite part of the movie was just overall how well the music and imagery fit together. Mm-hmm. It wasn't something that I was expecting out of this we expected the pop to not meld well with a book from the 18th century. We didn't really touch on this much, but Heathcliff is not a white character in the novel. I expected that to be a poor decision to cast Jacob Elordi, and I really enjoyed his performance. I really enjoyed Margot Robbie's performance. But the way the sound and the imagery melded together was so beautiful, and I think it worked so well in this movie, but it was also so haunting. It was perfect, and I think that is my absolute favorite part of this movie and why I will be watching it 100 more times.
More like Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights. God.
To touch on that for just a little bit, he is racially ambiguous in the novel. Mm-hmm. Everyone who talks to him brings that up. They're all like, yeah. And then every time they bring it up, it's different. They're like, man, you what are you, some kind of Italian, Greek person?
And it's a key part of his character development in the book.
I disagree with that.
Really?
I don't think that it matters that.
I think it matters with how much people hate him.
No, I think he's a piece of shit. I think people hate him because he's an asshole.
I'm just saying it adds to why.
I think the only thing it adds to is why he becomes a servant instead of just living in a house with him.
It might be progressive to cast a white actor.
It might be progressive.
To be like, hey, white people are pieces of shit.
White people are pieces of shit.
Yeah, this racially ambiguous man who is the most evil villain of whatever.
It might actually be a progressive decision.
But yeah, they're like you could be the king of the Mongolian Filipino Mexican army if you wanted to. I'm like, okay, they have no idea where he's from.
I think he's Azerbaijani, maybe?
Yeah, they're like this Egyptian Australian man.
I think he's Canadian African. I think he's Hawaiian Australian.
I was just waiting the whole book for someone to just go brown.
I think I figured it out. It ain't ambiguous to me. He's brown.
Do we need to cut that?
These heights are wuthering, man.
God damn, these heights are withering. These heights used to mean something. Oh, this movie is a 4 out of 10 for me. Maybe closer to a 3 than a 5, personally. I don't think I will watch this one again. I mean, I have rewatched a lot of romance movies, too. I just rewatched Letters to Juliet. We rewatched The Notebook. I rewatched Crazy Stupid Love. I rewatched Mr. Deeds. All these are romance movies, and I just this one I probably won't return to. So long.
It's really long, and Taylor didn't feel the length, but I definitely did. I was like, oh my god,
Taylor does feel the length sometimes.
Taylor's so used to not feeling the length. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Thank God my mom just listens to this podcast.
I also give it a 4 out of 10. I don't think it was awful by any means. I just think it leans more towards a bad movie than even obviously a mid movie for me. And I think the 4 comes from I won't rewatch it, whereas 5s I would for sure rewatch. So yeah.
I think it's a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Okay. I will return to
it's
it.
a what?
A 6.5. A 6.5. It's a 7. Anyway, I think that's where it lies. It is a movie I want to own. I want to watch again. I want to experience again. But it is not a movie that I would recommend to everybody. I do not think everybody should watch this movie for triggering reasons, for reasons like people like Daniel are not going to enjoy this movie. This is for a very key
sad,
group of
lonely people who are just like, forever alone.
Who think love is bullshit.
David, you are married and you did not enjoy this movie. But I think this is for a very key group of people, and for that reason, I cannot give it a higher score than that because it is for me. I like it a lot.
Fair.
I think the book is probably a 6 out of 10. Just so you know. If anyone's curious.
I got to read the book again.
I will say, Old English is very, very difficult to understand.
Which
and at times,
I do.
it is very hard to know what's happening. But if you just let that go and just go, listen, if I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, I'm just not going to care. Then do that, and then you will understand 90% of the story. And there's 10% where you go, I don't know what the fuck they're saying or what they're talking about or who they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I think that its significance in English literature is very important and very, like, the same way that you want people to read The Great Gatsby and you want people to read, A Catcher in the Rye, they should read Wuthering Heights. Anyways, we're going to go into part 2 where we're going to play some games. We're going to talk Valentine's Day games. We're going to talk about Valentine's Day. We're going to talk about romance movies, rom-coms, and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun. And we will be right back. Welcome back to part 2.
Part dos.
Part 2.
Parte 2.
Wow, we've been gone for so long.
Do you know I am?
I don't know who you are.
I'm the 2-man.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I only come in sequels.
Wait, what?
I only come in sequels.
Wait, what? I cannot hear you. By the way, you had mentioned that in this movie. There's like a scene where Margot Robbie is speaking into the wind to a character like 30 yards behind her. And she's like, I didn't say that about Heathcliff. And you looked at me, you're like, yeah, she would not hear what she just said.
Yeah. It's just about that much wind, by the way. 30 yards away, speaking, turning away from her into the wind.
Heathcliff would not do it. Yeah.
I'm like, she can't fucking hear you, bitch. What are you?
Yeah, she'd be like, what? yeah. I thought
it's windy. It's windy. It's wake up, Morphe.
All right, so how does this part 2 work? Do you know how this works?
We've got multiple games ready. We're excited to play. Yeah.
Would you like me to show you?
Would you like me to show you? No, really. I'm serious.
I didn't expect that to be because they showed that part in the trailer a lot. I didn't expect that scene to be in that context. And I was like, I thought I was going to like this scene more. I don't.
This first one. Okay, this is the game that I have. This is try and guess the movie from the wrong character.
All right. You ready, Taylor?
No, but yes.
Okay. You're trying to guess the movie from the wrong character.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you the plot of the movie based on characters that these actors have played in the past.
Okay.
Carrie is hired by the parents of Detective Russ Cole to get him to fall in love with her so that he will move out of the house after turning 30.
Carrie?
Carrie could be a lot of people.
Is it the character is Carrie? Is that what? Because we're trying to guess the actors?
Well, let's break it down. I know Rust Cole. Rust Cole is Matthew McConaughey.
Is it Carrie from the Carrie movies? Like the original one or the remake?
I can't tell you that.
I can think of Kate Hudson. Oh, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
No.
What's that movie where Matthew McConaughey's a mob boss and he yells, "My wife"?
That's you're thinking of Borat.
My wife.
Well, we just got to guess you can't forget that Matthew McConaughey was just a rom-com guy for like what felt like 10 years.
Was he?
Yes. Sahara.
I think I've only seen like 2 Matthew McConaughey movies.
Failure to Launch.
It is Failure to Launch. Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, Carrie is
bitch.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Never seen it.
character from
Wrong Carrie.
Lumen and Pierce and the Joker star in this adaptation of a modern rendition of Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare.
Ooh, it's a lot of stuff I'm unfamiliar with.
That's too many things. Is it? Hang on. Is the Joker? Are we talking about
Could be a lot of
Heath
people.
Ledger? Or are we talking about?
Don't act. Hey,
We got Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, Joaquin
Jack
Phoenix.
Nicholson, Jared Leto,
Yeah, and
and did I say Heath Ledger yet?
you said no, Heath Ledger.
Okay.
Yeah, too.
So Heath Ledger. So Heath Ledger, Joaquin Phoenix, Jack Nicholson,
Lumen and Pierce.
Jared Leto. Lumen, I have nothing on that. Pierce
Pierce is
Chevy Chase.
Chevy
right?
Chase. Yeah.
No. Lumen and Pierce is that character's
Ann.
name.
Lumen
and
and Pierce. Zero idea who that is. So
It's been so long for you, Taylor. You might not remember this character's name even.
and Taming of the Shrew, I'm not familiar with that story at all.
I mean, if I told you it was about high schoolers falling in love, then, I mean, that's even more ambiguous. But Taming of the Shrew is a very
Is
specific
it?
play.
I'm horrible with movie names. I'm realizing. High Schoolers Falling in Love.
Yep.
Is it The Fault in Our Stars?
Nope.
Is it Twilight, the first one?
No.
Is it?
I might be cooked on this one.
I have no idea.
This
That's too many Jokers.
this is 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, it's Heath Ledger.
It was Heath Ledger Joker.
It was Heath Ledger.
Lumen is the character in Dexter that Dexter saves from being sex trafficked. And then she becomes a killer.
That was like, oh my God, that is a deep cut. Oh my God.
Okay, well, if you want me to give you some of her other characters, Sarah,
No, it's fine.
Veronica.
It's fine. I'm
She
just
doesn't even have a
saying,
last name in most of her other movies.
It's fine. That's a totally fair one because I have seen all of Dexter. It's one of my favorite shows, but
So Taming
God,
of the
that was a
Shrew
deep cut.
is a shrew means bitch back in the day. That's what
Okay.
shrew meant. And Taming of the Shrew is
my
a
nickname.
play by Shakespeare where it's about this girl who nobody is willing to marry because she's such a bitch. And then they get this guy who is equally as an asshole as she is a bitch, and he convinces her to love him, even though she hates him at first.
Is
And
this
then
not-
He's like, but he just keeps persistent, keeps being persistent, keeps being as aggressive to her as she is to other people that eventually she falls in love, and they call it Taming of the Shrew, which is kind of a fucked up name, but whatever.
They should call it
and that's
Wuthering
and
Heights.
10 Things I Hate About You is a
Yes.
adaptation of Taming of the Shrew. It is a reimagining of that because it's that girl in the thing. She's like, I hate you so much, but
yeah.
I love you because he's just so persistent.
God damn it. I haven't seen 10 Things I Hate About You since I was a teenager, really. I think. Maybe I was a little bit older. I think I was living with somebody else at that time.
Okay, Gwen Stacy and Noah fall in love unknowingly, like not understanding or knowing that Noah had been helping Michael Scott get over his divorce.
Oh, crazy stupid love. Shut up.
Yeah, it's crazy stupid love. Noah from The Notebook.
A lot of characters you could go for him. That's
actually.
fun. Yeah.
And
The driver.
Gwen Stacy.
Driver. Gwen Stacy was a good pull though, because that's the one character that Dan's not going to think of Emma Stone as.
No, I thought of her immediately when you said.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
That's his
Gwen Stacy.
That's his Gwen Stacy.
I would have gone to Haley Steinfeld.
What?
She plays Gwen Stacy in Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse.
God, you're a fucking weirdo.
Divorce.
I mean, she plays her in, more of her than we get of Emma Stone. Willa and Forrest Gump develop a relationship online.
All right, I know this one, and I'm going to say it.
Sleepless in Seattle.
It's a great guess, but it's not, because the online is key here.
Okay.
This has to be, I believe, I've never seen it, You've Got Mail.
This is You've Got Me.
What the
Yes.
fuck?
Garfield and Natasha fall in love with each other in Tokyo.
Fuck.
Garfield could be multiple people. Chris Pratt, unfortunately.
Fuck. And who?
And Natasha.
Natasha
Bedingfield.
Wait, no. Natasha is Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, okay. That
Natasha
means,
Scarlett Johansson.
then it's not. Oh, that means it's Bill Murray. So this has to be Lost in Translation.
This is Lost in Translation.
Hey, teamwork.
Good work.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I'm glad that she got the pool because I didn't say Black Widow. Okay, it's Natasha Romanoff. That's right. So she got it.
I have no games.
I have one movie.
One movie.
fuck.
All right, here we go. So we're playing the classic game here. This is how many actors to guess the movie. Okay?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's start here. Ashton Kutcher.
Dude, where's my car?
Social Network. Fuck, no, not Social Network. What's the Facebook movie?
The Social Network.
Fuck.
He's not in that
He's not
movie.
in that.
Maybe you're getting it confused with Steve Jobs.
I am, yes.
Okay.
Job. Or jobs.
No, it's neither.
Okay.
But
Okay.
great guesses.
Middle name Blow, by the way.
All right, second actor, Jessica Biel.
Jessica Biel.
I don't remember who that is.
Justin Timberlake's wife.
Yeah, she's the girl who plays the woman in the movie about the murder from the hometown that we are from.
I was thinking about Jessica Simpson because we watched Fantastic Four recently.
Candy.
That's
or
not
whatever
Jessica
it's called.
Simpson.
Who is that?
That's Jessica Alba.
Fuck, there's so many Jessicas.
She has a hard time with.
Hey, third actor.
She got Natasha being Scarlett Johansson. Not Josh Romo.
Okay, the
Oh, wait, I didn't get a guess.
No, I have to throw in the
He
third
has to
actor
go.
because of what y'all just said.
Oh, okay.
Jessica Alba.
Okay.
No!
Wait. Good luck, Chuck.
Good luck, Chuck. Great guess. No, it's not good luck, Chuck. Any guesses? Jessica Alba. Jessica.
I only know Jessica Alba from Fantastic Four.
Okay. So we got Ashton Kutcher, Jessica Biel, Jessica Alba. Fourth actor, Bradley Cooper.
Is this Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
Oh, wait.
Ooh, good guess. No.
That is a good guess. But Ashton Kutcher's not in any of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought you might have done a voice of something. Is
We
it
got nothing.
Butterfly Effect?
It is
This is a
not.
terrible game for me.
Fifth actor, Jennifer Garner.
Oh, shit.
The Invention of Lying.
No.
No.
Sixth actor, Anne Hathaway.
Devil Wears Prada.
Okay, wait. Love and Other Drugs?
No, not Love and Other Drugs. Seventh actor, Jamie Foxx.
My God. This was a star-studded movie. Fuck.
Is this
What?
animated?
What movie?
I will give you an answer right now. It is not animated.
What movie was Jamie Foxx and Anne Hathaway in?
I don't know. Havoc? I've never seen it. I've seen scenes.
Okay, here it goes.
What?
Any guesses?
I can't think of a movie those two have been in. Fuck, this is a good movie for you to put in this.
Have we seen this movie?
I have no idea.
All right. Well, we haven't seen it.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I really don't. Whatever number actor. Julia Roberts.
She's only been in
Seven
Pretty
Seven
Woman.
Dresses. What is that?
Both great guesses. No. Emma Roberts.
Emma. American Horror Story.
Is this the Holiday?
Good guess. No. Queen Latifah.
Wait.
Hairspray.
Wait. What is that movie? No, because you didn't mention her first, and she's the main character in that.
He's not
that
going
Christmas
by
movie.
main character first. He's going by the deepest cut first.
Oh fuck.
I'm really just reading the list.
Oh, see, then no, because she would have shown up on top. So never mind.
Next actor, Taylor Lautner.
Who's that again?
Jacob from Twilight.
What movie have all these people
Is
been
this
in?
Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
It is not. But here's your next one. George Lopez.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. You have to be fucking kidding
God.
me. Is this like New Year's Eve, like one of those movies where it's like 15 stories going on at the same time?
It is not New Year's Eve. Great guess.
I think Ashton Kutcher is in that movie though.
Uh,
Is the movie called Valentine's Day?
it is Valentine's Day.
God.
The last actress I was going to give is Taylor Swift.
Wow.
Oh, that's when she's like a cheerleader, and it's like, yeah, I've seen that movie actually.
Just to list some more: Kathy Bates, Patrick Dempsey, Topher Grace.
What was the budget for that fucking?
That's what I'm thinking.
What was the budget?
The cast is Kristen Shaw.
Oh my!
Is in this.
We gotta watch Valentine's Day. I remember that movie.
Yeah, insane. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Me neither.
It's from 2010. I remember seeing trailers for it all the time, but I saw that cast list and I was like, what the fuck? There are so many famous people in this.
I think it is one of those movies where it's like different stories.
When he said New Year's, I was like, he's on.
Yeah.
He's on to something here.
Yeah.
Because I know that
with
movie too.
that
We're talking
many
about,
stars, you've got to be like,
Right.
story,
I think it's got to
story.
be like, same director, writer, or whatever of those two.
Maybe.
But yeah, I think that they are. Like,
I just couldn't believe that cast list, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And this is perfect for the Valentine's Day episode. But I don't think any of us have seen it.
No.
Yeah.
I saw it years ago. God, I think I saw it around when it came out.
Yeah, I had the same question as you. I was like, "What was the budget for this movie?" Oh my god. But yeah, shout out to Valentine's Day.
Shout out Valentine's Day.
all right, well, that's all the games that I had.
Sorry,
If
guys.
you guys want to get involved in the conversation, let us know what you thought of this movie. If you went to go see it, let us know what you thought of this episode.
Let us know what you thought of the book.
Reach us.
Let us
reach
know
out
what you
to us.
thought of the
Yeah.
book.
We are at Wild Dream Pod on Instagram and TikTok. We're also streaming a lot. We're going to be streaming more coming up. We're going to be on a consistent streaming schedule, ideally, moving forward. We've had a lot of hitches in the moving process for me and Taylor, but you can come and watch us stream. We're at Wild Dream Stream on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And until next time, we love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Late or otherwise. Good night.
Cover my mouth and eyes. Cover my mouth and eyes.
We just said Happy Valentine's Day. We kiss you.
We kiss you.